This is the only way to be successful in the outdoors, and it has nothing to do with a brand deal. In today's video, I'm going to give you the only true recipe that there is to be continuously successful in any of your outdoor adventures. At the end of the day, success comes from learning what works for you in your area with your resources, your time frames, your day-to-day life that you have to work around while continuing to become the outdoorsman that you want to be. It's not about copying the next guy. It's not about chasing trends. It's not about getting the next best piece of equipment. None of that is relevant when it comes to success whatsoever. And what works for me is not going to work for you. What works for you will not inherently work for me. The truth of the entire thing in the outdoors is that this is such an individualist sport where we all come together as a community and share ideas so we can build up our own skill set, if you will, when it comes to anything that we do in the outdoors. So let's face the facts here. Anytime you turn on TV or YouTube or scroll through your Instagram feed, anything of that nature, you're always seeing ads for gear. Every year, bow manufacturers are dropping the newest, latest, greatest technology. Fly rod manufacturers are developing new, faster, and better blanks to attach your fly reels to. Fly reels are developing turkey guns, turkey vests, tree stands, tree saddles. The list goes on and on and on. That does not make you more successful. And as much as I would love to sit here and say, well, if you just have the best gear, it's going to make you a better hunter, that's just simply not the truth. Can it enhance your experience? To some degree, yes, it can. You can potentially get things that fit your needs better than examples A, B, or C, and it makes your actual in-the-field experiences more enjoyable, which in turn can lead to you becoming more productive in the outdoors because you spend more time out there. You're more excited to be there. You have... I'm the kind of guy where if I spend an X amount of money, I'm going to make sure that I utilize it, and it actually forces me to go even on days where I don't necessarily want to be out there for whatever reason it is. But the truth is that new fancy gear is not a substitute for poor choices or an undeveloped woodsmanship skill set or any of the above. Gear is simply that. It's gear. It's a tool that we use to get the job done. I can harvest the same caliber deer with my Papaw's 60-year-old rifle as I can the latest, greatest technology that's getting released every single year. My bow from 10 years ago is just as lethal as my bow that I bought last year. The gear is literally just a tool. And as soon as we wrap our minds around that this is a tool. This is not the actual skill set. It's the tool that I use after I have developed the skills to capitalize on the actual moment. Then we can truly get down to what makes us successful and develop those skills that we need. The best gear in the world will not fix bad decisions or change bad expectations. It's not going to happen. In my last video, I touched on, you hear all these guys on the socials talking about the days that you should be there. These are the days that are going to make you successful. These are the days where you're going to capitalize. And we can implement that into anything, whether it's deer hunting, turkey hunting, fly fishing, duck hunting, bear hunting. The list goes on and on and on. You can see how I can just keep going with it. But that is not the reality for 99% of us that enjoy the outdoors. We have to take things into consideration. Our jobs, the distance that we have to travel to get to wherever we're going to adventure for the day. Is it going to be close? Do we have to drive 2 hours? Do we need to make it a weekend camping trip? Do we need to plan to go before we have to go into work in the morning? How are we going to make the outdoors fit our schedule? Because in the grand scheme of things, that's what we have to do. We have to make the outdoors adapt to us rather than us adapting to the outdoors. We have so many variables that we have to implement before we can get into our way, before we even think about becoming successful. We have to be able to balance our work and our family time. We have to know if we need to go scout for days or if we don't have the time and we have to go in and hunt cold. We have to determine whenever we go and we plan on fishing a local stream if we're going to get to actually look at the water and see what the current's doing, or if we just have to go in there and get a line wet and enjoy a brief moment of peace before the reality of the world comes back. So when the experts are sitting here and telling you this is how you have to do it, you have to sit back and think to yourself, this guy is going to get to be afield 40 days out of a season. So why am I going to try to implement his tactics when I only get 6? Or vice versa. Someone who is only going to spend 6 days afield, you shouldn't implement his or her tactics if you're going to be a person who's in the field for 40. Just remember that success is relative at the end of the day. What you deem as successful may not be what I deem as successful. Someone who is, let's say, going after 200-inch deer might not be what you are wanting to achieve to consider yourself successful. And at the same time, if someone is teaching you how to do things and they're harvesting 3-year-old 150-inch deer, that might not be your measure of success because you're chasing Pope and Young class deer, 180, 200-inch deer, or you're chasing trophy fish, or you're chasing whatever it is. You have to be able to define what success is to you. Consistency will always beat perfection, plain and simple. Develop a plan that fits your schedule and stick to it. And remember, you're not failing just because your life doesn't look like this highlight reel that you're seeing on the internet. So you've been watching YouTube, you're trying to figure out the cheat sheet to become successful in whatever outdoor adventures that you're pursuing, and you find a channel that you like, whether it's mine or someone like The Hunting Public or Wildfly Productions or whatever your specific little niche is. And you're really leaning into the advice that you're getting from them, but for whatever reason it's not working for you. I want you to stop and ask yourself this. Is the advice that I'm getting from someone who could be hundreds of miles away from me applicable to where I am right now? We always have to take into consideration that the terrain that we are in could be, and most of the time is, different than these guys that we seem to look up to on the internet. The pressure that the animals are feeling could be so much more variable from where I am compared to where you are. Public and private characteristics can be different within a couple hours of a drive from one another. Animals themselves can behave differently, region by region by region. And the seasonal differences that we all feel throughout the entirety of the country and the world, for that matter, differ. No matter where you're at in the world, my summer could be someone else's spring and vice versa. So I say all that to say, the advice that you're getting, although it's good advice, and I'm not saying to neglect any of it because that would just be foolish of me to say that this advice is wrong, but you have to make it fit the parameters of where you are geographically. Everyone online, including myself, speaks with confidence. Algorithms reward certainty, not nuance. Do this or you're wrong content will constantly outperform the, well, maybe this will work for you guys. Now, yes, like I said, there is a value in taking in tips and tricks from other people, or what would the point of it be? Why would I be on here running my mouth? There's a value in seeing how other guys do it and trying to make what they do adapt to your playbook. But that is where I think we toe the line a lot, is we try to just mimic and copycat what we see instead of making it adapt. We try to basically rinse, wash, and repeat what we see on the internet without actually taking into consideration what are the variables around us. We have to stop and remember that the outdoors is not, has not, and will never be a one-size-fits-all. And that's the beauty of it. There are so many different people from so many different walks of life that are going to do this so many different ways. And it's this beautiful thing that we can all connect to while being so diverse and so different. Social media is a tool. It's not a rule book. There is no rule book in what we do out here. You do it your way and how you want to. And as I said earlier, you define what success looks like to you. You don't have to meet the social media criteria to be a successful outdoorsman or woman. You don't have to do what you see your favorite content creator doing to be considered successful. You have to do, at the end of the day, what makes you happy. Because it's your tag, it's your money, it's your experience, it's your time. And that is the most important thing of it all. It's your time. So if you made it this far, let me get down to the true ways to be successful in the outdoors. First of all, what does success look like? If you can answer that, then you're going to be successful. And here's just my little list. Learn something every season. No matter what species it is you're chasing, whether it's game animals, game fish, whatever it is, learn something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about the animal, about the hunt, about the fishing trip. It could be something about something that does not even relate to it, whether it's a bird flying through the air and you identify what the species is, or if it's a tree that you learn to identify by the bark, or if you understand what a different current is, or different plant life, or different bugs in streams. The list goes on about the things that we can learn about nature, but on the flip side of that, and to me this is more important, learn something new about you. Learn that certain things trigger you into becoming impatient and that you need to address that and deal with that and become better as not only an outdoorsman, but as a human. Learn what makes you happy. Learn what brings you joy in nature, whether it's the serenity and the calm and the peace of it, or if it's watching wildlife do what wildlife does on any given day. Learn who you are. Another characteristic of success is learning to adjust instead of quitting. Let's face it, this gets frustrating. There is nothing more frustrating than being so enamored with something and yet you can't seem to succeed in doing what you want to do, whether that's harvesting an animal, catching a fish, getting more time in the outdoors, whatever it might be. Learn to adjust and adapt to what you have. Going back to the gear, learn to adjust with what you have. Going back to the time, adjust with what you can and can't do, whether it's family obligations or work obligations, anything of that nature. Adjust to it. Don't quit, but just because things are hard. We also have to be honest with what we enjoy in the outdoors. And that is probably the key pinnacle of success right there. If you enjoy the harvest, that is great. But what else do you enjoy? As I mentioned, do you enjoy discovering new things like tree species or bird species? Do you enjoy the peace and quiet of it? Do you enjoy the toughness mentality that you develop by sitting out there on stand in those freezing cold temperatures? What I enjoy does not have to be what you enjoy, and vice versa. But you need to be honest with yourself and determine what it is that you enjoy other than the end result. And I think the last key to success is understanding progress always trumps comparison. You have to understand that you're not going to be a pro level hunter or a pro level angler or anything of that nature overnight. If we want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, we are always students of the outdoors. And the second we stop being is probably the day that we should hang it up. If we think that we have all the answers, then there's really no point of us even being out there. The only true way to be successful in the outdoors is to stop chasing someone else's version of success. Enjoy what you do, enjoy who you are, and enjoy what you do and even don't accomplish, because that is the beauty of the entire thing. So get out there, find what works for you in the area that you're in, with the gear and the time that you do and don't have, and own it, live in it, make it yours, because that is success. I hope you took something good from this video. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, see you on the hill.